and welcome to the Mojave Desert. I'm stood between the brand new Polaris Sportsman XP 1000S and the brand new Polaris Scrambler XP 1000S. Consider this a deep dive as well as a first ride review, because in this video you're going to learn everything you need to know about these two brand new quads from Polaris. Take one look at both of these new quads and you'll notice that they're a lot wider than they used to be because Polaris gave them a 55-inch wide track, which is absolutely huge for a quad bike. In addition to that, they also made the wheelbase 4 inches longer on both the Sportsman and the Scrambler, and the idea there is just to make it a lot more stable when you're up at high speeds. So far, the only powertrain we know about on these two new quad bikes is a 952cc two-cylinder. It makes 89 horsepower and sends that power to all four wheels through a CVT. On the Sportsman, you have three choices of drive mode, either work, standard, or performance mode, whereas on the Scrambler, you only have two choices, just standard or performance. A big story for both of these new quads is the fact that they all got long travel suspension. Here on the Sportsman, you get 11.5 inches of travel in the front, 14 inches of travel in the rear. The shocks are a Walker Evans 2-inch body with a piggyback reservoir and a dual rate spring. Over here on the Scrambler, you actually get 12 inches of travel in the front and still 14 inches of travel in the rear. Plus, you do have variable damping and variable rebound rates, which are manually adjustable. If we're talking suspension geometry, well, you can take a look at both of these and see that they actually have bent double A-arm front suspension. And the reason they bend those tubes is to help give you a little extra ground clearance, because both of these quads have 14.5 inches of ground clearance, which is pretty impressive. Now, the other half of ground clearance obviously comes from the tire setup. Both of them have 27-inch Duro tires. On the Sportsman, you get a 14-inch rim, and over here on the Scrambler, you get a 12-inch rim. The Scrambler is pretty much an all-out sports machine, but the Sportsman over here, well, you might want to use it for a little bit of utility work. The tow rating here is 1,750 pounds, and you can carry up to 300 pounds on the rear rack and 200 pounds on the front rack. Really quick, let's talk about some of the features you get standard here on the Sportsman XP 1000S. In the front, you have this really easy to open little storage container up here, some little pockets for whatever you need to throw up there. Plus, this piece of plastic actually lifts up and allows you to get into the top of your shocks and do some shock adjustment. Keep looking down that way and you'll probably see the little winch poking out here. That is a 3,500 pound winch with synthetic cable. And tucked behind that winch is the front differential, which Polaris actually took from the Ranger. And so this Sportsman has active descent control, which is really nice when you're trying to go down a steep hill. Move to the back and there is another storage cubby, one right behind your seat. It's not huge, but it's got enough space for, I don't know, an extra pair of gloves, some goggles, some waters, whatever you need to toss back there. The Scrambler here is definitely built a lot more for sport than it is for utility, so you don't get quite as many cubbies or, utility items like the winch or stuff like that, but you do get this LED light bar that comes standard, plus the front bumper is standard as well. There is one little cubby tucked behind the seat, but it's not huge. You could maybe throw, I don't know, like your cell phone back there or something if you really wanted to keep that safe. It's cool that the Sportsman gets the front diff from the Ranger, but what Polaris did with the Scrambler is they actually gave it the front differential from a Razor. Both the Scrambler and the Sportsman right there come with this little display that lets you pick through your transmission modes. It also shows off, RPMs, engine temp, speed, all the information you could want. There is Bluetooth connectivity for your cell phone, so it'll alert you about your battery life on your phone, or if you get a call or a text or something like that, it'll tell you right here on the screen, which is really nice. If you're out on the trail, you're probably not paying attention to your phone, so it's good to have that information right in front of you on this little screen. So both the Sportsman and the Scrambler have electronic power steering now, and you might be wondering what the steering feel is like. The nice part about electric power steering is the fact that you can go out and ride for 3 hours in the desert like we did today, and by the end of your ride, your arms aren't tired, you feel relaxed still, and all you did was have a good time. I mean, you don't have the downsides of manual steering. Where you do lose out a little bit is in steering feel, but it's really not that bad. I mean, people are getting really good at designing electric power steering systems to give you enough feel while also making it a lot easier to steer. I'm gonna be honest with you guys about this. I don't have that much experience riding quad bikes, especially compared to some of the guys that are on this trip with me right now. So I went ahead and talked to two of my favorite dudes from sidebysideblog.com to see what they thought of the Sportsman and the Scrambler after their first ride.
Hey man, how's it going?
It's going great.
Good. We're out here ripping this bad boy through the Nevada desert, just giving her the beans, as you can see.
Oh yeah.
So far, pretty ridiculous. Thing works awesome.
Favorite part?
Favorite part? Probably the suspension, man. The suspension is real. Like, I've ridden a lot of quads in my day, and like nothing soaks it up like this has soaked like a lot of this stuff up. So we did a Turbo S test drive out here a year ago, and like, look at this guy ripping, dude. But yeah, we did a Turbo S test drive out here, and I just remember how heavy the terrain was, and like on this, it's really eating it up. It's doing a really, really excellent job.
All right, boys, what are we thinking of the Scrambler?
Listen, it scrambles. It gets. It gets.
It does, man.
Just bleep that out. Anyway.
No, the Scrambler is wild, man. Like, this is a wild machine. Like, you first get on it, and you really don't understand what's happening. Like, It takes a little while to like fully like acclimate to it, especially coming from the Sportsman. The Sportsman is so easy to drive and really fun, actually. It's super fun. And then you get on this thing, and it's just like a screaming beast, man. Like,
yeah, it wants to eat you alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a monster for being a totally bone stock quad. And the extra wheelbase like really helps over the whoops. It doesn't buck like you think it would normally. The suspension is a bit harder on this one. I think if you tune the tender springs a little bit, you can get some better ride quality out of it. But when you push it, it works good. It doesn't fall on its face.
No.
Like the Sportsman did. Kind of bottom out the Sportsman a bit. With this one, you can just smash it into stuff, no problem.
Once you get tuned in with it, like, it goes as fast as you want to go.
The guys from Side by Side blog absolutely loved both of these quads, at least from their first impressions. And I know I'm a bit more of a beginner than those guys, but I gotta say, the amount of confidence you get when you hop on these quads is absolutely incredible. They feel so stable, they make you want to ride fast. And someone like me who really doesn't have that much time on quads was able to keep up with two of those guys who've been doing it for years. And it's just a testament to the work that Polaris has done, making these machines really incredible. Both these quads have a lot of things in common, but at the same time, they're pretty different machines. I mean, the Sportsman here, yeah, you can go out and have a really good time on some trails, but if you need it to, it can do some work. At the same time, the Scrambler is an all-out sports machine. I mean, it's so much lighter, it's so much quicker, the suspension is a lot stiffer as well, and as a result, well, you can just fly over whoops, over bumps. It doesn't matter what you're attacking. The Scrambler is gonna handle it with ease. So is 55 inches too wide for a quad? In our experience today, not really. I mean, trails are getting pretty wide, and what you get out of a 55-inch track is a lot of stability, especially at speed. These things just feel so planted when you're going 40, 50, 60 miles an hour in the dirt, over whoops, over obstacles. They soak everything up so well. It's almost like Polaris managed to find a way to make their quads feel a little bit like a razor. I know that sounds crazy, but the long travel suspension, the way that they've tuned the suspension, and the way that they've changed the dimensions of the quad make both of these incredibly fun to ride at really high speeds. So we've gotten through almost everything you need to know about these two brand new quads from Polaris. And the one question that a lot of you guys are probably asking yourself is, how much are these quads gonna cost? Unfortunately, Polaris has not revealed pricing information just yet, so you're gonna have to stay tuned to TFL Off-Road to find out that information when it comes out. I really hope you guys like this video. I had a blast riding these two quads around the Mojave Desert today. They are really fun machines, and I think when you guys get a chance to ride them yourselves, you're gonna love them as well. For TFLoffroad.com, I'm Mike Curtis. Thank you guys so much for watching, and come back to TFL Off-Road for the latest news, views, and real-world quad reviews out here in the desert. We'll see you guys next time.